Well, Otis, I don't care if you're in Memphis, Nashville, or Washington, D.C. One thing is true. If politicians get elected, they generally like to keep getting elected more and more.
No question.
And the Memphis City Council has been restricted by having just 2 term limits. And now they want to extend it to 3, and they're going to give voters a chance to vote on that in August. And they decided this week to include the mayor in that equation. And the mayor was asked about it, and we have his response when we asked him about that issue earlier this week.
Oh, there's definitely unfinished business, but no matter how long you're in office, there's more to do. So there's definitely, I'm very proud of the work we've accomplished, but there's an extraordinary amount of unfinished business that we have. But I got to make a real personal decision with my family and friends.
So he wouldn't say that he was going to, but I don't know, Susan, I took that as a yes.
What do I think? I think that he really does. I don't think that he really has decided whether he would want to run again or not. I really don't. I think Jim Strickland feels like being mayor is the best job he's ever had. And at the same time, it is the most stressful on him and his family. I really don't know if a decision has been made. I'm not sure that this ordinance will pass. It only got about 40% of the vote last time. Council doesn't have any money to promote it and advertise it. But here could be the difference. If Mayor Strickland decides that he would want a 3rd term and he gets behind the promotion and some of his friends who surround him get behind a campaign to push for the 3rd term, then it could possibly win. But I think once you give them 3 terms, then who knows? 4 years from now, you give them 4 terms, and let's give them 16 terms. I mean, at some point,
don't get Martavis Jones any ideas.
Enough's enough.
Okay. So Sam, let me ask you about this. You heard that answer the same as I did, and he went a little farther with you, said he would strongly consider, and he's under no time deadline to decide whether he would do this or not, yet he gave himself one, saying that I'm going to talk to my family and friends over the next few days. I hope to make a decision. He didn't have to make a decision until long after the vote is taken in August.
Yeah, I think that several days, I asked him and did not get a reply what exactly several days meant. Because, several days could be a week, could be a couple of days. I would say that Jim Strickland's going to move at his own timeline, and whether or not several days is an accurate description of that timeline when it's all said and done, I'm a little skeptical it will be. I think that the mayor is a very shrewd, measured politician, and if he's going to come out for this ballot referendum and make it, in essence, a referendum on him, he's going to make sure he's going to be backing a winning horse, or has a horse that has very good chance of winning. Mm-hmm. And so I think that this next several days, I don't have any reporting to back this up, it's just my hunch, having covered the administration for 4 years now, is that there's some analysis, whether that's a poll or something else, that is being done to see if it makes sense for him to do this.
And he has one of the best pollsters in the business to help him out. What do you think? You agree with Sam on that?
I agree with Sam on the dynamics of it. I agree with Susan and Sam on the dynamics of it. But on the practicality of it, I just don't see that the voters are going to undo what they have done twice before. There is nothing that has come up since 2018 to convince voters that they need to undo what they said in 2018 and also said several years earlier than that. And for Martavis Jones to say that you need more than 8 years to get good at the job, well, Susan and Sam and I have worked at newspapers. And if you needed 8 years to get adept at being a newspaper reporter, you didn't have that amount of time. You had to get in there and do what you needed to do and perfect that job long before 8 years is up. I just don't see it, Richard. I just don't see that the voters, especially in an August election where the turnout is probably going to be somewhere around 30%, 35, 40%. They're going to be focusing on the district attorney's race and the county mayor's race and the juvenile court judge race. And I just don't see a big fervor unless Jim Strickland comes out and really campaigns hard for this. Then Susan might be right. It might have a chance, but I just don't see it still.